My goodness, now this is a bit of a... Is this a shocker? Is there any intention here? Because apparently the decision was made after the release of Spare, and Camilla was probably King Charles's red line. Is there anything in this?
Do, do you know the timing is well? It's quite, to my mind, it's quite obvious because we've obviously had the memoir come out. We've recently had the Netflix documentary, and I've always said that I believe, and I don't like the word retaliation, but I've always believed that there would be something that the palace would have to do. And I'm wondering if this is perhaps maybe, I mean, it's also a sensible move because they're hardly living in the UK. It's a cottage that remains empty. And the king's obviously trying to work out going forward what to do with these properties. Because remember, as king, he's got the Crown Estates. He is obviously oversees that, and I'm sure his advisors have probably said to him, "This is the best thing to do."
Now, they're saying that the couple are shocked. Do you have any insider information as to how this has been received by them?
I don't, but I'm sure they will be shocked because remember the cottage was gifted by the Queen, and it's the same as the titles, Nana. I mean, a lot of people have been discussing, have been saying to me, "Do I think they'll keep the titles?" And I've always said that I believe that because they were gifted by the Queen, that they will stay. But now I think that could even bring that into question because the fact that the Queen gifted this cottage and that's always been taken back. For obvious reasons, I think the titles it could possibly be the same. We could see that maybe they decide that as they're no longer members of the working royal family, our late queen is no longer obviously with us any longer. We've a new king. He's obviously trying to modernise. We know this. He's trying to make the royal family smaller, and perhaps they might feel that those titles maybe are no longer required. That is possible, but just to be clear, Prince Harry will still be a prince, and he does keep, at this moment in time, as far as I'm aware, will keep HRH. It's just he would lose that Duke and Duchess of Sussex if they decided to take it back.
But we could still have a law where even if you have a birthright to something, if you dish it in the way he has, that could be removed as well. You're not guaranteed that, right? I mean, has that ever been done before?
But the thing is, nothing's impossible, Nana. I think this is reality. I mean, at the moment, he's a councillor of state, Prince Harry, I'm referring to, and as such, if for whatever reason the king couldn't carry out his duties, he's one of the people that gets called forward. Now, there was recent news that they're going to change that, and they're going to add other members of the royal family, I think, including Princess Anne. So again, we could see him removed from that role as well in due course. I think there's going to be lots of things that are going to happen over the next year because obviously it's still a new monarch, a new king, and also he's trying to work out how best to do things. And the thing I keep saying, we've got to remember, at the end of the day, it is his son. I worked for them, Nana, as you know. I know how close the family were. It saddens me to see this happening, but the point has come that what do you do? What can he do when what's happening, what's been coming out with Prince Harry? I suppose they've got to do something, and maybe this is how they're going to do things. But also, though, it's a sensible move because, as I said, it's a cottage that sits there empty.
Do you think that the red line might have been the sort of attack in the book on Camilla?
Possibly, yes. I think I haven't read the book, Nana. I have a lot of friends, in fact, I was speaking to one today who read the book. It has shocked them. And I'm sure that if I very much doubt the King and Queen consort have read the book, but I'm sure they've been advised or told what's in it. And it's going to be hurtful. And of course, it's hurtful for these kind of things to be said. So possibly this way. As I said, I don't like the word retaliation, but the palace have got to do something. And this is maybe a subtle way of doing something about it. It's given them a very clear message, I think. Taking this home away from them is kind of saying, there's a line, you've crossed that line, and if you keep crossing it, as I said, who knows, it could be the titles next.
Good. It's a line that sounds like he's saying you're not welcome in the UK, or when you do come to the UK, you need to find your own place to stay. If they do come, where would they stay?
Well, the reality is, obviously, they are still, it's been documented or reported that they're friends of other members of the royal family. It's possible they could stay with another member of the royal family. But I think, Nana, it's safe to say that obviously he's made some money recently. So I think he could afford possibly to buy or rent something if he wanted to. But maybe this might also be the final push for them. Maybe this might be the point where he thinks, well, my home is no longer in the UK. It is in the USA, and that's where he will continue maybe to live and not come back, possibly.
And how likely do you think he is to get his apology? Because that's what he's after.
Yeah, I I think the thing about the apology, Nana, is, you know, it's a difficult one to ask for an apology. I mean, I don't see how that I don't see that happening. I really don't.
It's not going to happen, is it? He ain't getting no apology.